Hanayo was telling, hey, no, we are in one tap.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to our webinar 2021 organized by School of Business and Management in collaboration with University Malaysia Kelantan. We extend our warmest welcome to all the panels today. And let me introduce before we start with, without any further ado, we would like to introduce our invited guest speaker for today. We are very pleased to have three panels with us today to discuss on the issue related to COVID-19 and the fresh graduates minimum salary in Malaysia. So I introduce the first panel is Yang Berbahagia Datuk Haji Syamsuddin bin Bardan, Executive Director of Malaysian Employers Federation, MEF. Welcome Yang Berbahagia Datuk to UCTS and also Sibu Sarawak.
Terima kasih for inviting me to be with this particular program. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. And we go to our second panel. We are also very pleased to have the expert from the academy. Just now we had Yang Berbahagia Datuk from the industry. And here we have Professor Dr. Balakrishnan Anak Lelaki Parasuraman, Professor of Human Resource and Industrial Relations, University Malaysia Kelantan. Welcome, Professor Bala.
Okay, thank you, Zaini, and also UCTS for inviting me.
Yes.
Okay.
Professor Bala actually very familiar with TV channel, TV stations for discussion and academic sharing. Thank you. So welcome. And lastly, we have from our own local university, we are very pleased to welcome Dr. Rashida binti Kamaruzaman, Head of Program for Bachelor of Technology Management. So welcome, Dr. Rashida, to this webinar representing the university.
Thank you very much, Ms. Zaini, and a very good morning to all the panels and everyone who is joining us this morning. Thank you.
Okay. And also I would like to introduce our collaborator for today. The webinar was done in collaboration and cooperation with University Malaysia Kelantan, and I would like to introduce the co-moderator for today, Cik Nurul Azwa binti Muhammad Kadri, Pensyarah Fakulti Keusahawanan dan Perniagaan Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. Assalamualaikum Ms. Nurul Azwa in Kelantan.
Oh, the mute voice.
Okay, I think that should be it for the introduction. So to start with our webinar today, we have, this is the first round. The first round we are going to talk about the issues related to the topic. So for those who do not know, for introduction, the topic that we chose for today is the impact of COVID-19 on fresh graduates' minimum salary issues, challenges, and way forward. We are specifically focusing on the case in Malaysia. And to start, I would like to give the parameter of the today discussion. Perhaps the introduction of the today's situation that happened. As we all very aware that COVID-19 has impacted the global economy and also Malaysian economy. And one of the party that was heavily affected are the fresh graduates, i.e. the employers and also the employees at the same time. And according to the statistic that we have shared previously, the salary among the fresh graduate had decreased to the lowest salary between 1,001 to 1,500 last year. And that was the national concern. I believe it triggers the government concern to revise the minimum wage requirements. And to start, I would like to highlight on the Malaysian minimum wages. We have applied the minimum wages, that is a law. That is not simply a policy, but that is a law that was implemented by the government in 2013, applied to all workers except the domestic workers as defined by Section 2 of the Employment Act 1955 together with the Sabah Ordinance, Sabah Labour Ordinance and also Sarawak Labour Ordinance. So these three statutes have similar definition for the domestic workers. So this minimum wage does not applicable to the domestic workers. And that was a concern. So that was the introduction for our today's topic related to the lower salary received by the fresh graduates currently. So to the first issue, based on the reported statistic, perhaps we can start with Dato' Haji Shamsuddin first. What was the view of the MEF regarding the issue?
Terima kasih, Ms. Moderator, Ms. Zaini. Of course, you know, the impact of the pandemic was really very, very serious. And we thought that COVID-19 is just like an advertisement, just for a short while, it will just go off. But never did we realize that COVID-19 is going to stay for that long. Now it's more than 1 year already, and we are still right at it now. And as far as Selangor is concerned, this is where I'm in here. And also our office is located in Selangor. Now is our third MCO going to be effective from tomorrow, until 17 May. And of course, the impact of the MCO and also the RMCO, CMCO implemented by the government can be very, very serious on the businesses. And of course, we know very well that when the government first introduced the MCO up to somewhere May last year, the country lost close to 100 billion ringgit in terms of lost opportunities. And of course, that kind of thing is going to continue. But I think now the government really had done something which is positive for businesses in the sense that even when they declared the MCO, starting from tomorrow for most part of Selangor, and of course I understand Kelantan is under MCO, the economic activities are not going to be impacted. And I think that is something positive because previously when the government introduced MCO in the earlier part, it talks about most employers are not allowed to work except for those in the essential services. And of course, the impact of that basically is you can see that in terms of employment that we are very concerned now, the unemployment rate went up to even 5.9%, 5.8% at the height of it. But now it more or less like stabilized to something like 4.3, 4.4 kind of thing. Yeah. But again, we must also realize that as employers, most employers actually now still implement the policy of employment freeze. Employment freeze means they are not actually going to employ anybody. And of course, some of them had even, went on to what you call it as retrenchment. And last year, we're talking about loss of employment, about 107,000 employees that lost their employment. And this year alone, up to something like the latest figure is something like close to 20,000 employees had lost their job. So with that kind of scenario, of course, it's going to be very, very challenging for new employees to actually seek employment. And when you're talking about new entrants to the labor market, normally in any given year, there'll be something like 500,000 people entering the labor market, the new entrants. And of course, out of that, about close to 250,000 are really people with diplomas and degrees. So how are these people going to be employed basically? Yeah, and of course, when you talk about youth unemployment, including the graduates, can be very, very high. In fact, it's more like 3 times the normal rate of unemployment. So we're talking about more than 13% of these people are not employed. So that is the main issue. Even wanting to get a chance to be employed is the main challenge now. And of course, you're not talking yet about the study. Of course, yes, the statistic department came back with a report to say that, as far as graduates are concerned, their starting pay had actually been very low of late. Yeah. And of course, question is that, are we surprised by that? Yeah. Of course, to me, that is just labor market forces coming into play. And of course, yes, we do have minimum wages policy, like what had been said by Ms. Moderator. Yes, we have that, and nobody should be paid lower than minimum wages. But of course, when times are really hard, some employees or even the graduates may be willing to be employed even at a lower than minimum wages pay. Yeah. Is it wrong? Yes, it is legally wrong. Yeah. And of course, the employer can be prosecuted for actually employing people at lower than minimum wages. But then when it is question of survival, so what do you want to do? Yeah. And of course, in the Malaysian context, it is a bit unfortunate that our laws are not flexible enough to actually allow both parties to negotiate at any rate for that matter when times are really bad. Now, of course, say for example, like Australia, they had come up with, I would say, a good policy to assist employers and employees to withstand the pressures of COVID-19. In Australia, they say that, okay, look, employees can be put on unpaid leave for at least 2 weeks kind of thing. And also, the employees also can be asked to take paid leave at half rate kind of concern. So not the normal rate of wages, thing like that. And of course, I think these are some of the initiatives taken by some of the countries to actually make sure that companies survive this challenging period. And as far as employees in Malaysia is concerned, last year it was reported more than 32,000 employers cease operation. Yeah. And of course, if say, for example, even if these companies are the micro enterprises, micro means they are employing 5 and less employees. So the number of retrenchees should be far beyond 107 that I had mentioned earlier, but officially that was the figure. So and of course, when you talk about the labor market in Malaysia, you're not just talking about people who are in formal employment. There are a lot of people who are in informal employment, or what sometimes they call it the shadow economy. So we are talking more than possibly 3 million people involved in the shadow economy. And it was reported by the Star that more than 50% of this kind of people actually lost their means of income during the COVID-19. Perhaps, one Chief Moderator, I will just stop here for the time being. Later on, we can discuss further.
Thank you, Dato' Shamsuddin. That was a lot of points there. We can proceed to Prof. Bala to explain further on the first issue.
Okay, first of all, thank you to Zaini as a moderator this morning and all the distinguished speakers. And also like to thanks to Dato', who is my good friend. We have been for many times in different forums now. We also in the last time council, technical wage council. Okay, I start from the point that he raised up. Okay, generally, like if we look at the employees definition in the law, Employment Act, and in the Sabah Labor Ordinance or Ordinance, I think the employees is actually all categorized. Doesn't matter they are lower or middle or up level. And the topic today, actually, we are focusing on the fresh graduate, okay? And I think the topic, I think, put a minimum salary, which I'm not agreed to have minimum wage for the graduate, because I totally agree with Dato' just now, that we can have a market force to determine their wages, rather than put, okay, minimum wage very clear, must understand now. Minimum wage, actually, those under the lower skill and non-skilled people. There's no skill or low skill. That's must clear on that. The law clearly say that this minimum wage pay for them. Then now they have like 1,200 in city area and outside city area 1,100. So we started at around 800, 900. I think that was there in the beginning. There were a lot of discussion, not only discussion, a lot of debate going on between employers with union, and we are the academic and all this. We finally come up with that rate in 2013. I must remember that. That only because previously the wages are based on the market forces. So the low skill people are earning very low at that time. So that time is maybe under World Bank report and also ILO report. They have done some study and also with DOSM. So then they found that the salary around 500, 600 and sometimes below. So we found that there's something on the market distortion. So we try to come up with that, and also we also looking at the ILO ratification that we haven't ratified the minimum wage, and finally with the consensus with the employers, trade unions, all these big players, then we come up with the rate. And today you can see every 2 years under the law we have to revise and so on. That is a group for lower skilled people. We must understand that. Okay, recently what happened is COVID-19. I think we went through different phase of economic crisis. I think we all know that we went through those days in the 1930s, 80s, and 1997 is the worst economic crisis, that Asian crisis, and we lost a lot of people losing job. But today, COVID is totally different, because COVID, actually, we are dealing with health and also economy. That is a very critical point now, because you cannot run the economy without looking at the health of people. So COVID coming on the time, everybody unprepared, because we prepare on the we got experience during the economic crisis. I believe what Dato said at that time, a lot of employers, the employees, even the employee representative union negotiate. We save the company, we save the employee. But today we can't do anything. And then today suddenly this COVID coming in. Then we know the foreign workers. A lot of issue foreign workers, and then they are unrecorded. There are many unrecorded. I think Dato will agree with me. There are more than a few millions are unrecorded. And suddenly COVID giving a chance to document that. That's another issue. I mean, good is a bad and good lah. But the bad thing is employees, everybody suffering, including lower and middle and also graduate. Okay, we have no problem with in the past. Of course, in the past, the graduate employability is not issued COVID-19. It's already there for a long time ago. We are keep on telling that our graduate is unemployed. But I don't blame everyone here, because today we are facing the COVID. So when you're facing the COVID, what can we do? You cannot go out to work. And at the same time, you also cannot but the government, and I really thankful to the employers also, and also the union, and also the employers in Malaysia. They are still understand, and especially employers, I think, having had time now, especially micro which 5 and below, they are more suffering, because they are 99% is comprised with this. So basically, you can see that graduate come to the work with there's no job. Where there's no job, what they can do? They have to go for this we call minimum wage salary, because that's what the employer willing to offer. But for employers, okay, as long you come in, we need the workers, and we need a high level. So that is the issue that I think we have to think about that now. So they are going to taking up this issue, because job is limited. And that's job limited because we need to have a very clear policy in the national level. So what is the role of the government is actually to consider to have a big plan, a big program, but not 1-2 years, maybe 10 years, 20 years, because this COVID is only one phenomenon. There will be more coming. We don't know what's going on. So preparation must be done today. So with that, I believe that I totally not agree minimum wage for graduate, but there will be some scale starting pay for graduate. That will I agree. Maybe later I will discuss how to ratify this issue. Because with Dato Samsuri also keep on mentioning that our graduate is not competent enough and all this . But I believe totally, I don't believe on that also, because this graduate actually exposed to everything. So I think I stop with that. Maybe we go for the next session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Bala. So, Prabhala, and then before we proceed with the next session, I would like to share one statement from Malaysian Employers Federation by President Dr. Syed Husman, where he echoed the statement made by the Minister of Human Resources yang berbahagia Dr. Sri M. Saravanan that the issue of low starting pay for graduate is only a temporary and will return to normal as the economy stabilizes with the foreign investment and the ongoing national immunization program. And then based on the above fact and statement made, companies and business will be able to recover and to grow financially, but the low salary was a long-standing issue to the many internal and external factors and was not entirely caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. And then according to the survey conducted by Ministry of Higher Education, the data also shows that at least 10% of Malaysian graduates with bachelor degrees have been getting a monthly income between 1,001 to 1,500 since at least 2010. So it seems like it is not a new issues, but it almost a decade issues. So with the proportion of those earning between those amount reaching a decade high value of 22.3% of the fresh graduates since last year. So I would like to ask in terms of Dr. Rashida, on your experience, can you share your view about this kind of the issues regarding the low minimum wages?
Thank you very much, Nurul Azwa. Okay, first of all, good morning to Datuk and also Prof. Bala from UMK, and also to Ms. Zaini. Okay, if we are talking about the lower, what do you call it, lower salary among the fresh graduates, okay, basically, I'm with Prof. Bala in this, okay, because basically this is a long-standing issue actually, all right, because it's been like the one issue that has been discussed so many times, okay, but in my own opinion, I think the reason why, okay, the low level salary is because we produce, okay, so many graduates, but the amount of jobs for these graduates is not enough to cater for these graduates who are graduated from the universities or from other higher institutions. Okay, so basically this is one of the reason why I think the reason of the low level salary among the fresh graduates. Okay, for example, if I mean, if I remember, okay, in 2019, about 180 graduates coming out from the universities and also higher institutions. But at that time, we only can provide about, I mean, the industry can only provide about 89,000 jobs that is going for the fresh graduates. Okay, so this is the reason, one of the, I mean, the crucial reason why the lower level salary. So in the end, those that cannot get any jobs, what they do is that they just have to satisfy themselves with going with what do you call that, the unskilled work, which is not according to the degrees that they have. So here, what I can say is that the other reason is because of the mismatch between the industry and also the our own graduates. Okay, for example, like we do not have. Okay, this is my own opinion. I think we do not have enough jobs that is requiring high, what do you call that, high values, high skills graduates at this point of time. But because of the employees, the employers, they need to have that vacation. I mean that what do you call that? To fill in that vacant position, all right, in the end they have to go and then search for the foreign workers. So this is another reason why I think our fresh graduates is not going to get the salary that is, I mean, the increase in their low level salary. So basically, I think that is the two reasons that I can think at this point of time, all right? Because like I said, one is the mismatch between the employees and also the graduates, the supply and then also the demand. And the other thing is because we produce more than what the jobs is going on in the country, right? So I think I mean, I pass it back to Cik Nurul Azwa for the next panel, for the next discussion.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashida, for a very clearly explanation regarding the issues for this today's session. So next, maybe we could proceed with our next part for this panel for this sessions. So one question from me. So apart from the COVID-19 as the primary national and world threat at this moment, as we know, the COVID-19 is one of the unexpected event that already happened last year. So what are the other challenges significant to the fresh graduates that shall be within their expectation when they join the labor market, maybe after they graduate within a few months or maybe years later? Can I have an open a view from Datuk Haji Samsudin regarding these issues?
Thank you very much, Cik Nurul. Yeah. And of course, apart from COVID-19, of course, you can see that, there is a general slowdown of the world economy. When, of course, companies or countries had shut down their borders, things like that. But of course, this is also very much related to the COVID-19 situation. Yeah. And of course, because of that, I think that the more or less like businesses actually lost a lot of their revenue, potential revenue. And when actually Dawson had made the survey on how companies survive during the period of COVID-19, yeah. And most of the companies, more than close to 70% say that they don't have any chance to make any revenue during that period. And then, of course, when the question was next asked, how do you survive during the pandemic? They say that they use their savings. And how long can actually they use their savings? The most is 2 months. Yeah. So that is the kind of thing that we are facing currently. And of course, to me, the issue of low graduates' pay, just like what had been stated by the president of MEF, it is just a temporary measure. But to me, we shouldn't be too, I would say, worried about the fact that, yes, these graduates are being paid at a low pay, starting pay. As the word says, starting is just starting. It doesn't mean that it's going to be there forever. I think we all know how much we are being paid when we first graduated. So, for example, when I first graduated in the early 80s, yeah, my pay at that time starting pay was about 1,006. Yeah. And even now, when we're talking about the market rate of starting pay, yeah, for graduates is about 2,005. So it doesn't move that much. We're talking about what, 30 years, 35 years kind of thing. So that just shows that the starting pay is, I would say, very sticky, because most of the private sector employers are not really in a position to really assess the performance of the graduate concerned, the fresh graduates. And of course, in order for them to really see whether these people can perform the job or not and contribute to the company, yes, they are willing to gamble. Actually, when the employers employ fresh graduate, they are gambling in the sense that they don't know whether these people are going to actually contribute to the company or not. So by doing that, actually, they are taking a risk. Then this is where perhaps, like I said earlier, we don't have to be worried very much about starting pay. It will go up soon after the employee concerned, the fresh graduate concerned, show that they can contribute to the growth of the company. And once that happens, of course, most employers would love to actually retain this kind of employee that are contributing to the company, and the pay can be reviewed anytime. In the private sector, we know that we are very agile as far as pay is concerned. It can go up very fast. And of course, during the pandemic, it also went down very, very fast. Also, say, for example, we had heard about people getting pay cut or even up to 50%, thing like that. That is the private sector. And that is the reality, because it depends very much on how the company is able to survive during that period. And I was mentioning that perhaps many companies wouldn't be able to survive for more than 2 months. And we are talking about COVID-19 creating a lot of new norms. So we should be thinking out of the box to see how actually companies can survive longer with that kind of funding that they have. So in the sense that, say, for example, you have only 2 months budget to actually survive. So how actually employees, the employers, and also the government can really assist this kind of company to breathe longer. And that is very critical, because if you are given a chance to actually survive longer, then your chances of actually going through or getting through the COVID-19 situation may be there. Yeah. So this is where, again, I think it's very critical that, when you're talking about starting pay, thing like that, don't be worried very much, because then the employee concern, the fresh graduate concern, will actually gain a very valuable asset, in the sense that that's where he started to get his experience, real life working experience in the company. And that, I think, is very critical, because once you actually have that background of being employed, you are now actually in employment. So when people are in employment, it will be much easier for them to move on to get another employment that may be suitable to his background, education background, thing like that. Because the first important thing is to break into the employment market. Yeah, that, I think, is very, very critical. And I think, of course, the other part that of course, we, the private sector, are currently doing is that we mostly are not able to offer long-term employment. Yeah, so there is no such thing that you're employed permanently and this is your retirement age is going to be 60. So what normally companies do is that they offer shorter-term contract, 3 months contract, 6-month contract, yeah, things like that. And of course, I would say that despite all these, I would say negative elements, yeah. I can say negative because it's not normal. It's a really new norm. Then the fresh graduate should not be rejecting jobs just because of this factor. Grab the opportunity and actually show to the employer that you are really an asset to the company. And of course, I would say that your pay will be reviewed, and there is no limit as far as the private sector pay review is concerned. So thank you. I would stop there.
Thank you, Dato' Haji Samsudin. Perhaps we go to Prof. Dr. Bala. Being an expert, someone in the HR field for so long, perhaps Prof. view on the significant threat to the fresh graduate specifically.
Okay, thank you very much for the moderator and also Dr. Shida giving a very overview, and Dato' also. Okay, I would like to go on the macro level first, and then go to micro. All right. Recently, our Prime Minister already established what they call National Employment Council, Majlis Pekerjaan Negara. Why? What is the role actually of this council? So the council suppose, because due to the COVID-19, they want to create a job. Exactly true. Our DASA, the national policy education, that we want to create, we want to give education to everyone. Okay, fair to everyone, doesn't matter. Regardless, those days, of course, opportunities very less. But today we got a lot of universities. We got more than 500 colleges, universities, even like UCTS established in Cebu. You are encouraging people to the small town. All these actually we are producing, the giving education to everyone. And of course, the ultimate aim is we want to produce manpower to the country. We must understand Malaysia is actually, all of us actually must work together. So, okay, what happened is, from my 25 experience as a lecturer until I became a professor, so I can see that I've seen all the graduate that taking up a very what you call challenge in the university. All right, I'm talking in the university. Yeah, I do agree with Dato'. Dato' was keep on telling why we need to train them again after they graduate. Why we waste the money? Why we have to give the money, rather give the money to the university lecturer to do research. But we don't have research fund. We like that, and we go and train them. I totally not happy with that, because when they are in the university, what they're supposed to do? Don't talk about gaji now. I'm talking about the reality. Don't talk about salary in the years to come. Salary will come to you. Definitely come to you. Most of my students, I train them in my class last time. IR, industrial relation. We teach what happened. And this student, what they did is they doing a lot activity outside academic. Remember, outside academic, I challenge them. First year student, can you organize forum or not? They say, yes, bro, we organize forum. First year student, I give the case study. They went on, they called RTM, they called like Dr. Samsudin, they called all the top people coming and give a talk. Who run this one? First year student. And today, they all sitting on all the various departments. I do agree with that. When we come out from the university, take it whatever salary you want. Okay, for example, when you go to the industry, don't ask how much salary you give me. Don't ask the question. That is a very sensitivity for employers. All right. Before you have the company, you got all the experience. Like in the campus, like we University Malaysia Kelantan, we are trained them A to Z entrepreneurship. But different students say, no, sir, we don't go. This is not our activity part of the academy. They want to just go A. I say A cannot determine your job. Academic qualification is a paper qualification. How can you say you need to all the position in the university like club? And I got one club, I call BYC club, Bursa Young Investor Club. I established through the Bursa. I brought the club, I talked to Bursa. I said, what do you do in Bursa? They are organizing all the big events. They're going to bring the industry partner to that. And you see that like a leadership, when these students out from the industry, automatically the salary will come to them. All right. So what happened in the industry? When you come to the industry first day, you must study about industry. Some students just go interview without doing anything. So how can the industry will give? You don't know about the company background. You don't know about who's the CEO. You don't know. Even you ask, Zeni, you ask your student, they know your VC, no? Don't know, sir. You know your ed department, don't know, sir. You know, they don't care. So how are they going to care about employers? So these employers, I believe they will pay. That's why Dato said, start with some salary, all right? But give KPI. I want to tell all the employers, maybe Dato will take serious on my point. I want to give employers, give them 6 months to 1 year. Give them KPI. Just giving KPI. If they cannot perform, they themselves will out for the job. I tell you this one, okay, after 6 months, you can revise the salary. Well, within 6 months or 1 year, take it 1 year probation period for them, they perform like in auto industry. Example, any I talk to all the auto industry like Isuzu, Toyota, Mercedes. What they ask, sir, if you graduate, come a marketing executive, they can sell a 5 car. You know how much salary they will get? 5,000. 5,000, lucrative. You have to sell that car. How can you sitting there, relax? You have to go to Facebook, Instagram, all this. So what I mean that our graduate got all the capability. I believe all of them can speak English. Even my students, all can speak English. But the thing that they just focus on the academic. And some more, I want to tell all the universities, don't give so many classes. They work from the 9 to 11 o'clock in the night. Please reduce my time, Dato time. When I was in USM, Dato maybe in, I don't know, UM or UK, we are giving very less classes. We only like 1 day, about 2 classes. Then we expose a lot of outside things. So we go in the club, we do this, we do that. So finally, what happened? We got a job. I started salary, Dato, every 1,500, Dato. When I start my salary, first my pay is 600 ringgit as a tuition teacher. I didn't get a salary for 6 months, I didn't blame the teacher. Because that time they were also having problem. But after that, the 6 months, I already got a training course, in which my salary is starting about 1,200 at that time. What I mean that as a graduate, what you want to give back to the industry. So industry will look at you. So in the COVID time, yes, COVID time, maybe the temporary, but I believe it's going to be even long-term plan. Graduate, suppose come and perform by that day. Another thing I want to, PLWS, put that productivity linked wage system for the graduate. For the minimum wage people, they can come to this level. Of course, they go on next level. Of course, you put a PLWS. So you see that there's a competition. Even the minimum wage people, now they can take degree, part-time, There are a lot of universities offering degree part-time. They can get OUM, they can get executive program. They're also getting degree, everywhere. So the competition is there. But for me, it's not compete yourself. Not compete with others. Compete yourself. Each of the graduate, while you are in the university, grab. Secondly, entrepreneurship. Why you guys get together and then do something on entrepreneurship, come up with some kind of ideas like, Facebook, the guy is a boring, he come out from the college, I say, hey, what can I do? And they think about out that box and they'll become millionaire today, So the same time, government should think about this graduate, giving some fund and monitor the fund. Don't simply give the money. Like HRDF, when the HRD, now HRD Corporation, when you give the money to any organization that run the graduate program, monitor them clearly. Don't simply give the money, after that they're unemployed again. I don't waste taxpayer money. And then Dato will agree, they're paying a lot of taxpayer to us, you know. Why you waste the taxpayer? They come to university, they study. So all the graduate take this challenge, okay? And you can do that when you out to the university. The moment you out, you got all these leadership program, you run the program. First question the employer will ask, do you have experience or not? Yes, sir, I will explain. What experience? I run some ambassador program with the industry. I'm the leader of this club. I'm the leader of this. I run the international program. What you can do? My students do now. They do with India, one of the India university. I only give. So as a lecturer, you may become a mentor for them. Don't keep yourself only. Lecturers must be pleased themselves and trust on them, honest on them, help our students. Don't just simply there teaching and get a pay. And no, you need to monitor them from the year one. Don't monitor them second, third year. The year they must first year, focus on them. And the salary will come to you. You do well, 6 months later, KPI, they will out automatically. But if they cannot do just salary, just go for the minimum salary, I believe they're going to stay forever. That's why I say market force will determine for the graduate salary, because they can go up and go down depending on the skill. And they're all skillful. I believe all our graduates outside there, they are superb. They can do that. But only thing that they need a mindset, different regular science or 9 science, even doctor, I don't care. The mindset must change. We are in the difficult time. When we go to the company, we need to help the company and the pay will come back to us. I believe many of my students today, they all become superb. Because you know why? When they go to the university, first of all, I'll give them all kind of challenge job for them, you know. They can do it. Why you cannot challenge first year student? Why manja-manjakan dia orang? Why you only giving academic? Finally, no, they no time to do other things. All right. So Zaini, I giving the big spectrum, not only for the employers, for the universities, and also from the employee perspective lah. So graduate kita memang competent enough, but the thing that they have to change themselves. So that's what my point here. Thanks. I pass to you.
Thank you. Yes, again, so many points. We will summarize on Prof. Bala's point. He was giving so many good suggestion and proposal to solve the issue. Now we move to Dr. Rashida. A similar question perhaps on the view of Dr. Rashida, the significant threat that Dr. Rashida see for our fresh graduates.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Zaini. Okay, since Dato and Prof. Bala already explained, in lengthy about it. Okay, but before I start, my point, I just want to share my experience as well. Okay, because it's not similar to COVID-19, but when I graduated from the university before, okay, the time that I graduated is exactly when we have the Asian financial crisis, that is in 1997, whereby the salary, the wages is actually what I'm getting is that at that time I was working with my bank, and then my starting salary is actually at 1,200. Okay, so that is even below. All right, so but like Prof. Bala said, okay, fresh graduates, what they need to do is that they need to one, like Prof. Bala said, change the mindset. Second is that they need to challenge themselves. Okay, because basically, like Datuk said just now, okay, when we join any company, right, taking myself as an example, when we join a company, of course, we cannot expect them to pay that high. Okay, because why? You are a fresh grad and then you are going to that company and then you don't even know whether you are a valuable asset to the company or not. And then with that, okay, with saying that, basically what the company is doing now, the fresh grad needs to know, right? When the company is hiring you, first thing first is that they need to equip you with all the with the knowledge that you need to perform your jobs. Okay, so here the company will invest a lot of money, okay, in giving you training, in upskilling you, and then in giving you all the knowledge so that you can perform the jobs. Okay, so when they are doing this, of course, this is their investment. All right, so you need to see that, okay, from the point of view of the employers, all right? Even though they are paying you with a low salary, but actually, if you are paying for these courses, if you're paying for these workshops, the training, actually it is a lot. Okay, so that's why sometimes the company is paying you low, but they are giving you all the trainings that you needed to perform the jobs. Okay, so by the time, like for example, like 2 years or 3 years, you already have the knowledge. Okay, and during this time, if you are going up from the what do you call that, from the that employers, okay, you already have that knowledge that you can take out with you, right? And then you can ask for a better salary than on. Right, so that's why I said that they have to challenge themselves. All right, no matter what is the employers is giving you, okay, if you can perform the job well, if you can prove to them that you are a very valuable asset, okay, then there is not a problem of whether to give what I mean to give the lower levels salary to you anymore. Okay, but again, okay, the other thing is that the students, I mean the fresh grads, they need to equip themselves. Okay, since like Prof. Fala said, this is the COVID-19 era. Okay, so of course you cannot get the jobs that you want, but there are a lot of courses that is going on at this point of time, and some of them is even free. So this is the best time for them to, I mean, to upskill themselves. For example, you have Udemy, and then you have Coursera online courses, all right? And you can just take any courses that you think that is going to add value to yourself, all right? So it's no matter whether at this point of time you're only taking like whatever jobs that is temporarily, right? But at the same time, when you are doing this job temporarily, you also need to equip yourself with the knowledge that you know that you can bring to the company later on when the COVID-19 era is finished. We do not know yet when is COVID-19 is going to subside, but at least by the time that it subsides, okay, the fresh graduates, they already equip themselves with enough, or maybe not enough, but with sufficient knowledge that they can bring in to the employers later on. Okay, so and the other thing is that like I said just now, you need to challenge yourself. Okay, this is again from my experience. Okay, I have a few of my ex-students that is really like Prof. Bala was saying just now. Okay, if you cannot get the jobs, why don't you create the jobs? Because at this point of time, we need a lot of jobs. So instead of waiting for jobs, just go out and create the jobs. Okay, I have at least 3 students that is, I can call them a very successful students. Okay, and they open up their business, and now for example, like one of the students, they are opening the what do you call that, the rim and tires services. All right, and then he already have 2 branches, and he is giving jobs to other people as well. And the other student that I have is that she open up her own business, all right, and then she is doing this even though it's a delivery services in Langkawi, but she's doing very well, all right. So these are among the things, and you never know, like one of the students also in Seremban, okay, it's what do you call that, goreng, bawang putih goreng. Okay, so this bawang putih goreng, you of course you I mean in the beginning, if your student came to you and say that, oh okay, I am doing business of bawang putih goreng, but you never know, she is very successful. She even what do you call that, she even send her bawang putih goreng, I mean to export her bawang putih goreng to Singapore, Brunei and Indonesia. You never know. All right, so that's why challenge yourself. If you cannot get the job, you create the jobs for others, and then actually you are going to, I mean, you are going to benefit not only yourself but also the economy of the country itself. Okay, so that's why I think not only to change your mindset but also challenge yourself every day. As a fresh grad, you need to do that. So I pass it back to you, Ms. Zaini. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes. Again, there are so many points and proposals there. We will explain later the summarization of the panel's point. I go to Cik Nurul Azwa for the solution. So we are now entering the, I think because of the timing, I think we can move to the solutions. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Zaini. So as we already heard a lot of things that had already been shared by all the panels, so let's go into the next part. So in terms of the fresh graduate itself, so in your opinion, Prof. Bala, so what is the best solution that can be done, especially as a fresh graduate, in order can be done as a part of a way to move forward during this post-COVID-19?
Okay, I would like to start point with our role as our UMK. I think most of you, know that UMK was established to create top university in entrepreneurship education. And so far, I think we are doing a lot of activities. Example, in our university, they already have what they call to establish their own company and given some fund to the student to start their business, and the lecturer becomes. So that is one of the good initiative that start on the campus. I believe the same thing you also can do, and I believe that UMK can be champion. So anyone interested on to setting up the company, to involve in entrepreneurship, commercialization, product base, and all this, I think you all can always come and come and learn from UMK as a champion. And recently, we also see they already established a big plan at the Plan Pendidikan Kusawanan, where UMK is one of the engine. So I'm saying this because in the years to come, rather than looking for the job, is creating a job. So like what Dr. Rashida said just now, creating a job is much better. We got one alumni, maybe later when Lulu will say that, one alumni is started when we started university. Today he become millionaire, is selling like milk. So he become millionaire today. He become like our star, big star for that. And now followed by a few of them. So I think if the student, if can give them chance, okay, my word, remember, opportunity, chance, and then you give all the opportunity, let them, let's say, they want to start a business, no money, then how can they start? So in this context, I believe like HRDF Corporation, Ministry of Entrepreneurship Development, MOHR, what you call Ministry of Higher Education, all these must work together. We cannot work silo. It is silo, and also MEF as a champion for the employers. All of them come and help us on the campus rather than off the campus. Now the issue is we are talking off the campus, so too late for them. So I believe before they even can start from school, we don't need to start from here. The employability issue must start from from one can start already. Why you want to teach entrepreneurship at the university level? Why not you teach them at the form 1, form 2, form 3, and form 4, form 5, they stop, okay, enough. I'm not going to academic, I'm going to for the entrepreneur. And they can creating. A lot of students I can see, they have a lot of ideas, brain, and especially the Y generation. This Y generation, they like to challenge. You challenge them. Sometimes you feel very upset, they will fight back to you, okay, sorry, I'm facing this one now, Zeni, you're going to face more and later. After 25 years, they challenge back you, but it's okay, take it as a positive. And groom them. Like example, a simple thing I do. They say, Prof, I don't know how to do the poster. They will do the poster even much better. Praise them. Praising is very important. Why we don't praise? The problem is kita tak puji tau. Kita always asal dengki je, perasaan dengki semua tu, buang semua tu sekarang. Kita anggap they are our children. Our children, they're not any. They come to university for what? But this one must start from school. The school must change first. Jadi even KPM kena work dengan KPT. KPT kena work dengan MOHR. MOHR can work dengan Ministry of Finance. Bukan Ministry of Finance yang pegang duit. So every budget, we giving a lot money go on. But the money come back to other. There's in the bottom of the line is a profit and the money. That's what Dato' always saying. What we get. So when our company progress very well, ultimately our country economy also will progress very well. And we observe by the outside party. You remember, the investor were looking at us. And investors like to come. For one of the sessions we conducted with minimum wage FGD, recently we have with we call Japan Institute or Malaysian Japan Institute, what do you call industry. You know what he said to us? If your country not flexible, like Dr. said, not flexible in terms of law, you don't have room for negotiation during the COVID-19. For example, they might have some room to create the law created to have negotiation between that to pay the salary, regardless graduate or non-graduate. So you say, what if you don't do that, we are going to Indonesia. Indonesia willing to accept us. So our company, or Vietnam, or Thailand, They are willing to accept us. They're willing to so investment very important, huh? For our MNC to come here. We have all the best talent. I believe we got the talent, everything. But now how to make this talent for the betterment of the country? So again, I'm telling, Majlis Pekerjaan Negara should sit down, jangan duduk buat meeting secepat yang boleh. Even dalam COVID-19, every month, I really already informed earlier, PM must come forward and sit on the meeting. And PM invite the MEF, like Dato MEF, MTUC, Ministry of Finance, KPT, KPM, all of them sit on that and think what is the policy. Don't go look for the short term. We go for the long term. So the long term means we have to restructure the university management, especially the VCs must have different vision. VC must come in, when they take out the job as a VC, you must look for all the faculties, deans, change the mindset, and until to the, you ask the student, you go ask Nurul, you ask the student, kamu tahu tak nama VC? Sir, I don't know. You tahu tak nama TNC? I don't know. So what? Even in the university also they don't know who they are. You ask a lecturer, you know, I don't know. So that is a sikap kita mau. We don't want that. They need to know who they are. The year one. Jadi kita kena tengok balik silibus. Tadi doktor cakap mismatch. I believe, doctor, what we do in the university is enough already. They are already there. Only thing the employers, what they want is they go need the idea. When I start my job first day, and I graduate from USM, the company say, what, you know, I take you, you graduate, you give idea, don't do the clerical job, huh? I don't do that. Okay, I'll pay you. This happened 1991, you know. I take you because you solve the problem. At that time, a logistic company, the lorry driver always resign and go. You solve this problem, can or not? That time I just fresh graduate, you know, I don't know anything. But I say I take the challenge, so I can do. But on that particular time, I like to be lecturer, professor, so I take it teaching profession. All right, it doesn't matter. But same on that particular time, what is happening? So that is another issue that we're talking about. Another issue is the money we spend must see the outcome. So we put a lot of money for the graduate. We put in a lot of things. Are they performing? Sometimes, let's say in UMK, ya, kita train dalam entrepreneurship, Nurul, first year, second year tu. Tapi bila dia keluar, dia tak pergi entrepreneurship. Dia nak pergi cari kerja lagi. Itu kita mau tak? Kamu itu, we want them to go on the entrepreneurship. I keep on telling them, I'm not an entrepreneur expert. But I know the entrepreneurship can bring money to you. Why not we bring the industry into the campus? Why those days, why employees come to the campus interview? Now can I happen? I didn't see that. Why employees, even employees book a graduate before they come out, you know, in my time, you know, the booking really not disagree. So I really urge Dato, MEF Dato, please go to the university, talk to each VC, please Dato, having collaboration with all these VCs, call them and discuss what actually you're doing on your student. This will be challenge them because that's why they're giving a job. They become VC to help our country, to help our student. So all the administrative, regardless dean, student, semua work together. And then MPP Dato, I very upset with MPP, Majlis Perwakilan Pelajar. What did they role? They suppose recently one of my students become deputy MPP. I told them, you have to do employee. And he said, Prof, I will do that. Kerjaya. Start from you are chosen by your employee, I mean, your rakyat student to bring job for them. So on the campus can be done a lot of things. Don't waste the time. They are coming, I told them, when you are first year, you are calling executive, you know, I don't call you as a student. Give them some position to them. Don't call them student. They are not student, they are executive, junior executive. So when I talk about junior executive, they feel like, wow, I'm junior, yes, I will pay. So I got a grant, I bring the money, you do that. So okay, no problem, what is a big deal? But the student don't want that. They still with the academic, they want to go A. And then some more, they want a shortcut, you know. Sometimes I give the assignment, I'll go and do research on the journal, study about the auto industry from Mercedes-Benz in Europe. They don't take that, you know. But those days, I remember those days, the student willing to take. So those students willing to take now, today they are someone. And they have become someone advisor to our student bank. Sometimes, yesterday I got one problem, a big problem that there will be a case in the Sarawak school because COVID-19, MCO, they are already retrenched these employees, cleaners, and then COVID-19, quarantine, they already didn't pay the salary. So this student come back to me, ask Prof. Then I link to my student who working in GTK. I say, Fadila, can you solve the problem, you know? And Fadila immediately solve. So you nampak tak network kita? Kita jadi lecturer ni, kita juga connected each other, you know. So we help each other. So I believe our student, regardless any race, please don't go on the race, don't go on the religion, don't go. Look them as our child. I mean, our need. Give them a kind of opportunity, call them junior executive. So I believe when they graduate, Dato have no problem. Dato, so Prabala, great, you done today. They will come with a nice, like what today, why I'm wearing today, you know that? Normally I wear batik, huh? I want to show to them, today fresh graduate, you have to wear like this, you know, you are executive. You go to interview with just simply cannot. Who want to give the job to you? Your character wise will determine by your appearance first. Positive thinking. I'm not good English, I tell you. I'm studying all the way Malay. When I went to overseas UK, I'm taking the full English, and I don't know what to do. In the first semester, I'm suffering, but I take initiative. I challenge myself, and finally, I got a good grade. And I want to go back to PhD. Again, I do my thesis on qualitative, fully no data, nothing, no statistics. Write in a story of the employees and employers. And I think I interviewed Dato also at that time. Remember Dato? I came interview you 2003. I met Dato interview long. So I put all in the thesis, write a story. And I graduated. So is it think I say I'm not good at English? No, English is not our language. But we have to expert in all language, regardless any language. Sama ada Melayu, bahasa Melayu, even student tak pandai cakap Melayu. Student tak cakap bahasa Inggeris, student tak cakap. Jadi kita gunakan semua language. Jadi I pun cakap dalam Kementerian Pendidikan Pelajaran, kenapa tak ajar bahasa Cina? Kenapa tak ajar bahasa Tamil? Kenapa tak ajar bahasa Iban? Kenapa tak ajar bahasa Dusun di sekolah? Kalau saya dah ajar bahasa Cina hari ini, so what is the problem employability? Jadi saya boleh interact dengan dia orang baik. Kenapa KP yang tak buat sampai sekarang? Ada cakap dalam banyak forum, startlah satu kelas untuk belajar bahasa Iban. Kan bahasa Iban very popular in Sarawak. Bahasa Kadazan, Tamil, like Zaini, you can speak Tamil. You are very close with me, you know, Nurul, close with me. Am I right? You speak Chinese, Mandarin. Wow, why you cannot do that? This can create a multiple working environment to the country. So I believe this is a national agenda. Don't look at the serious issue. Fresh graduate salary. Salary is, I believe, put a market force, but don't pay very low salary, like Dato said just now. Maybe slightly higher, but put them KPI, 1 year KPI, monitor them. They themselves automatically will out from the job. You don't need to sack them. Because when the time they come, they cannot perform. I say goodbye, I left. So why you worry? Don't worry. Employee, don't worry. I give you very good package. And HRDF, you train in the different skill. Don't train the skill on the communication skill. Don't train, all these are done in university. You go on the high-end skill. What like Dr. Lulu check, different kind of job. Some job will be disappear another 5 years. Go on that and monitor them. All the training provider, monitor them seriously. You blacklistkan them. Kalau mereka tak dapat perform, our graduate tak dapat kerja, you blacklist them. Don't take them. Take them genuinely. There are a lot of lecturers in the university. They are willing to work not for money. Okay. We are here university, not for money. We work for our country. I think with that, I think I have talking many forum. I hope this forum can continue. We hope our policymaker will sit down, and I really hope Dato di sini, Dato take some point Dato for the future policy in MEF. Please, MEF, come to the national agenda. Sitting on national agenda, sit with all the VC punya council ke apa ke, and give your point. Rather than we can speak this kind of forum very important because the young mind, but we also go on the different level. Thank you. I pass to the moderator.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I think we move to next from the industry, perhaps the perspective from yang bahagia Datuk Syamsuddin regarding the same issue. What should be expected by the fresh graduate when they graduated, maybe within these few months or few years to come?
Thank you, Ms. Zaini. Of course, yes, I was listening passionately to Prof. Bala on the subject of entrepreneurship and also the need for us to work, I would say, not in silos, but take it as a national interest. Yeah? And of course, the issue of entrepreneurship is very, very critical. Yeah? And of course, from the employer's side, what we want a graduate, when he comes to seek employment, is that he is ready to actually contribute to the growth of the company. And that I would say is very critical. And gone were the days where I would say companies are willing to train, things like that. And what's like what Prof. Bala had said, what should we train? when they come, they should be ready to work and ready to contribute. And the training need to be done by the Higher Learning Institute, or even we can start earlier. So for example, take the practices that had been done in Japan, for example. When they first actually enrolled into university, they are already being exposed to the industry, not doing something very great, not doing something very major. Perhaps during the first semester break, when they actually went to the industry, they are going to be given, I would say, some menial jobs. When I say menial, it is really menial. Looking after the toilet, for example. Yeah, it can be something that is unimaginable here, but that's how actually the Japanese students are being molded to become, I would say, positive leaders in organization, because then you actually started very, very low actually in the company. And of course, from then on, you move on to other greater roles, things like that. And once you graduate, then you are really ready to contribute to the organization. And that is something that I think we are expecting the graduates to actually be prepared for them to actually come out and work. But unfortunately, even until now, what we really see is that when the graduates come out from the higher education institute, they're not ready. Yeah. That's why the government keep on, I think, spending billions of money in trying to train them up for 6 months, for 1 year. You call any program, you call the program a slim protege or whatever it is. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think that is a lot of resources being wasted. Yeah. And I think, again, when we're talking about the current situation and the jobs to come, being digitally savvy is going to be cutting across all sectors of the job. Yeah. And of course, we can see that now the government is also trying to encourage companies to actually go on IR4. The government wanted to actually now introduce and roll out the 5G program, thing like that, which I think is putting Malaysia on the right track. Yeah. But question is that whether our would-be new fresh graduates would be prepared for all this kind of thing, yeah, and whether the university is actually imparting this knowledge to the students or not. And this I think is something that I think we need to think hard about. How can we actually incorporate all this kind of thing into all spheres of learning within the university? Not just to say that, okay, if you take up entrepreneurship, that you're going to be taught digitalization, things like that. But I think no matter what subject, what field you're in, this digitalization must be part of the program at the university. But understand that, of course, it's not easy for the university to incorporate this kind of thing into the curriculum, because I understand that I'm not sure now. So, for example, when you want to change the curriculum, review the curriculum to put in something that new, I don't know how long does it take. Is it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Or if you want to create a new subject, for example, how long does it take? Is it 1 year, 2 years? My main worry would be, ladies and gentlemen, that if it takes too long, then by the time you want to roll out the program, and also with the 3 years studies to be taken by the student, by the time we actually the students graduated, then of course the skill that we had imparted to them may actually have evolved to something else. So this is, I think, where it's very, very important for the whole system to be relooked, so that at the end of the day, actually we are very nimble. We need to be agile, thing like that. And of course, when you're talking about a situation like this, being agile is very, very critical. Say, for example, you need to actually adapt and adopt very, very quickly. Otherwise, you're going to be, of course, left out. And talking about agility, for example, that's just to show how important for us to really to adapt and adopt in this new environment. So, for example, we heard about the farmers in Cameron Highland. When the MCO was first announced, then they are lost because no transportation is available to transport their product to the market. So they tend just to throw away their produced thing like that. But then, the online platform came quickly to their assistance. And within 2 days, their products are already sold online. And that is something like I think how quick we need to be really to adapt to the situation. And that I think is very, very critical. And we actually, when we talk about, say, for example, just now Prof was talking about entrepreneurship. In fact, at one stage, I had a discussion with Majlis Professor Negara, and of course, the issue of entrepreneurship was raised. And one of the things that was discussed was to say that universities don't have the fund to actually, teach entrepreneurship or teach the lecturers or send the lecturers for the studies on entrepreneurship. I say, you don't have to do that. Entrepreneurship is something which you can always learn from the market. Invite those successful entrepreneurs in the market and teach your students. And that is a real life example of entrepreneurship. And that will be more valuable to the students rather than the students being taught by a lecturer that is going to just talk about theories about entrepreneurship. So I think this is something that I think we should learn from the around what's happening around us in order to mold the student to be useful when they come out and completed their studies, things like that. And of course, yes, I think in entrepreneurship is opening up a lot of, I would say, opportunities. Yeah, even to the extent of, say, for example, being on self-employment, thing like that, because we shouldn't be just looking at Malaysia as a job market. We can look at our employers in Hong Kong, in China, in Abu Dhabi, thing like that. So we look at the world as the place where we can actually seek income. And now I think it's really not really employment that really matters. It is a means of trying to get income. For example, people are looking at the what they call it as online platform, thing like that. So these are really opportunities that can be utilized by the graduates to earn income. What is important is during this period, we need to actually be able to upkeep ourselves, not just sitting idle until the suitable job come by, thing like that. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Yang Bahagia Datuk Syamsuddin. We move to our last panel to conclude about the same question regarding the significance on the perspective of academician for in the case of Sarawak, I would say specifically.
Okay, thank you, Cik Zaini. Right. Basically, after hearing the views from Prof and also from Datuk, I think my conclusions is very. I mean, it's very simple. Okay. Like Datuk, like Prof was saying just now. Okay. I think it should start from the universities, right, to equip the students with all the what do you call that? With all the knowledge and also the skills that is needed by the employers, so that when, for example, if they are going out from the universities, okay, if for example the employers, they already have the what do you call that, the skill that they are needed, so there wouldn't be a mismatch anymore. Okay, that is one thing. The other thing is that, okay, for the students, right, not for the students, for the universities, I think sorry, this is my personal views. Okay, some of the what do you call that? Some of these syllabus, all right, in the universities at this point of time, if I might say, okay, some of them is irrelevant for the industries anymore. Like Datuk was saying just now. Okay, I agree with him 100%. Okay, we should we should focus on the practicality compared to this, theoreticality. Okay, so we should limit on doing the theory with the students, because I think what we need to instill is that they need to do a lot of practicals. Okay, when they have a lot of practical, this is when they are going to get the experience. This is the experience that is good for the employers. Okay, and then for example, okay, some of the students was complaining. Okay, this is normal students. Okay, they like to complain, saying that okay, when they go for internship, all right, and then the employers that they are working with is only giving them something like a very not the work that they're supposed to do. It's not according to the knowledge that they have, not according to the skill that they have. All right, for example, like if they are doing accountings, but when they are going to go for interns, and then they were asked, okay, to do photocopy and then to do things that is unnecessary, like the admin works, okay, which is not according to what they are supposed to be. But I think what the student didn't realize is that because, all right, they did not have the certain characteristic or the criteria, all right, that the employers is looking. But again, this is the fault of the student, because like I told them, I always advise them, if all right, the employers is giving you such kind of jobs, then you have to stand for yourself. This is when we need to teach the student that you need to act fast, you need to think fast, all right, because then only they can just go back to the the employer, saying that okay, actually I'm coming here with the accountancy degree, for example. Okay, so I need to be doing works in the accounts department or in the finance department or audit or whatever. Okay, that is according to their degree, right? So they need to stand for themselves. But a lot of students now, okay, what I can say is that they are very they don't want to stand for themselves. All right, so that's why for me, right, the students need to think outside the box, like Dato and Prof saying. Okay, you need to think outside the box. You need to stand for yourself. You need to act fast. All right, and you need to take every opportunity that comes to your way. Right, if you cannot get the job, okay, then like I said just now, okay, my previous point. If you cannot get the job, create the jobs. All right, there are so many things that you can go online and you can just sell everything online instead of instead of communicating on your social media. Why don't you set your business there? Okay, that is the reason why we are we have the social media, not for you to do chatting with your friends or whatsoever, or uploading pictures, or doing doing TikTok. Okay, TikTok is good. Okay, but if you are using it to the right way. Okay, so it's not for you to not for you to do unnecessary things on all this social media. Okay, social media, if you do it in the right way, it's going to give you a positive results. Okay, and then the other thing is that take the challenge. Okay, for example, like now we are talking about huge data, we are talking about AI, we are talking about robotics. So why don't you equip yourself? Even if you are in the in the degree of business administrations, all right, but during your free time, or during your during this time that you are learning online, okay, when you have the time, then you can always take like a short courses, all right, on all these things, because you must know that like Datuk was saying, now everything is digital. Okay, in 5 years to come, there are a lot of jobs that not going to be there anymore, right? Like last month there was in the Malay Mail, if I'm not mistaken, it's Malay Mail, saying that at least 20 jobs is going to be off the market in 5 years time. So they need to know where where they can where they can find the jobs, or where they can do their use their skills. All right, so this is the time for them to open up their minds, okay, to think outside the box, so that they less complaining, but try to try to find something that can bring income to you, not only to you, but also to the economy of Malaysia. So I think with that, I pass it back to Cik Nurul. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rashida. So I do believe that in order to boost up the capability of the student, the one of the major things that they need to do while they are still a student, they need to upskilling to improve their skills, isn't it, Dr. Rashida? So as we already listened from the point of view within our 3 panels today, so we would like to open the Q&A sessions to our audience. So if our audience do have any questions that you would like to ask, you are free to ask here, at our platform here, Zoom platform, or maybe through the YouTube platform if necessary.
Yes, thank you, Cik Nurul. So I remind again for the viewers and our audience, we have here in our YouTube from University of Malaysia Sabah, also we have the staff and the lecturer from University of Malaysia Sabah. I appreciate if the audience can ask the panel any question, any of the panel, or any general question also to the panels. Okay, I think while waiting, panels, I think while waiting for the questions to be asked from the audience, perhaps we can ask some questions just now. I think there's perhaps a clashing of opinion between Prof. Bala and also Dr. Shamsuddin, in which that Prof. Bala and also Dr. Rashida believe that our graduates are competent enough to go to the labor markets. They no need to go to search for any upskills. They no need to go search for any extra skills, because the issue, if we search on the internet, the views is that the graduate must upskill, must search for an extra skill in order for them to compete within this fierce labor market. So perhaps any of the panel would like to reiterate on the issue of skills among the graduates.
Perhaps, Ms. Zaini, when we talk about skilling and upskilling, I'm not saying that the graduates, when they come out, they don't have the skill. They may have the skills, but then there is always a mismatch between what they have and what the market requires. Yeah, so that I think is the biggest issue that I think we need to try to resolve, and of course to make sure that the graduates are really being employable. Yeah? That's why you see, when I say that, yes, they need to really be taught the skills in the university itself. So say for example, when we have all these issues about graduates not being employable, then the government spend billions of money trying to give them short courses. And what are the kind of short courses that have been imparted by the government? Things like language skill. Is it not that this kind of thing must be taught in university or even earlier than that? And of course, say in terms of self-grooming, this kind of thing, I would say basic thing that don't have to really be taught on how to actually, be in self-grooming kind of thing. But these are the kind of things that actually had been part of the module for that short-term, I would say, a slim program or they call it a strategy program kind of thing, which I think is wasting a lot of resources, wasting a lot of money. So yes, of course, I mean, we cannot eliminate, this mismatch of what the graduates have and also what the market need. Totally, we can't eliminate that, but of course, at least we must reduce that mismatches. And this is where I think when I said earlier to say that the universities and I would say the regulators need to be very nimble. They need to be very agile. If we know that actually, this digitalization is going to be the skill that is required, cutting across all types of courses that is being offered in university. So the government can always say that, okay, the authorities can always say, okay, look, these are the modules that must be taught in all the courses that is being offered in university. I mean, as simple as that. But then, of course, if you expect each university to actually, submit application to include this kind of thing into their courses, that I think is very, very bureaucratic. And I think in by the time the graduates actually completed their education, even possibly in 1 or 2 years' time, the subject matter had not been incorporated into the studies itself. So that I think is very, very critical. And of course, what is important is that the students themselves need to be taught with a lot of practical thing rather than the theories. Yeah. I think we had actually even in our school days last time, or even our university days, we have been taught with a lot of subjects which when you actually go out and work, none of the subject is relevant actually to your work that you're doing currently. So thank you.
Okay, Zaini, I would like to add one point here. Okay, I think all of us alert there will be Jabatan Kemahiran Malaysia, kan? I think most of you know, under the Ministry of Human Resources. I think most of you know alert that this Jabatan Kemahiran Malaysia, they are giving a lot of courses, that you can take like 1 or 2 courses to make your expert in certain field. There are 1,000 courses created there. So I suggest here, if perhaps we can we work together with Jabatan Kemahiran Malaysia, maybe KPT can sign an MOU with them, and then to bring some courses into the campus. So maybe year 1, year 2, we can award them these courses by Jabatan Kemahiran Malaysia. They can get different certificate. Example, like what Dato said, okay, some student, let's say they are good in the marketing, but they're very lack in HR, right? Example, they only do marketing the whole year, but this course can support because this Jabatan Kemahiran already accredited by many even employers. So when the employer look at that certificate, they found that this student undergone that program. So that program can be done through the university and so on. So this is my another next move. I really want to bring back this one because they are like separation between these two. So maybe Ministry of Human Resources and KPM Minister must sit down and discuss on this issue. KPT, together with the MEF and MTUC and other relevant bodies so that SME Corp dan sebagainya, then we can start now because when you do this, perhaps they boleh dapat ni. Okay, Zaini, I think there's one question I think asked by student. I send to you.
Yes, Prabala. So the question is, what is your opinion on a freshly graduated student doing his or her online business, which will earn higher than the basic salary outside? Do you think he or she still have to work outside to gain experience? I think you're mentioning about the part-time job, is it?
Maybe Dato answer that question better. Give that Dato.
For that, yes, I would say that as employers, if the student decide to take up employment, then of course there is such thing as you are dedicating yourself to the employment. You are not allowed to take up, some other jobs, thing like that, because that will be considered as what you call it moonlighting. It's not advisable because then disciplinary action can be taken, thing like that. So it's for the student themselves to really decide at the end of the day which career path you want to take. If you want to actually build up a career in employment, then I would say that you should not be involved in online businesses kind of thing. But if you feel that the online businesses is really lucrative and that is part of the career path that you choose, then you should leave employment and concentrate on your online business. I think we cannot be mixing business and that of employment because it doesn't jive really. So thank you.
My point is like this, very simple. You must be very careful in online business. Don't simply go online business. You must talk to your mentor as a lecturer. Always refer back to your lecturer because the many online go on the scam base and so on. So be careful on that. But unless this online business initiative by university, like what I'm trying to do now is I will bring one of the online companies on the marketing, digital marketing, to our club in the university. Yeah, that club will work with it, but before the work, there must be signed agreement, MOU between university, and make sure checking across all the background, the company, everything, and it will be zero cost, actually zero cost. That means there's no cost by the university, there's no cost for the company. The student will create the income, all right, and that's related to their entrepreneurship cost, related to the marketing, related to HR. So that is one way to do online business lah. And then another thing that I was observed in Australia, in UK, student in holiday, they go work part time, like they work in the oil petrol station. But here the student feel like that is shameful for them, to work in petrol station. But in overseas, like student from China, they are not depending their parents, they will work in the restaurant part-time, they work in a petrol station part-time. So why not they can work this kind of job rather than be taking all the foreign workers? Why the employer take for rather than give some employment? So that's one thing. Another thing, I really want the student to go outside the place lah. When you holiday, get together, 5 of you, go explore, like go to like Terengganu, Kelantan. So learn a lot of culture, go and see how people doing this. Go to Sabah, Sarawak. This happening in the foreign student. When they are summer holiday, they all go by themselves. And I got one student, she from Holland. She did a master's under me in UMS. But she said to me, Prof, when I come here, I also want some holiday. I said, go ahead. And when she come to UMS, she did a degree very excellent. At the same time, she go and visit Cambodia. She learned everything, Then she go back. Now she's a senior position, and then she completed. So why these our students don't have? They want to go back home. See, now the problem is our law, like working from home. Our law not any revise on the law, labor law, but we start new norm working from home. We have to revise the law. How can you sitting there and see safety and health and so on? And we see flexible working arrangement. There's another law, to protect them. Protect employers, protect the employees. Most important. Employer, like when doctor say, flexible to the investor to come to the country, so that they will look through, this country got everything. So during the COVID, it's the best way to look at the different angle of law. Law don't punish. I always tell the lawyers, please, Zaini, you a lawyer, don't punish people. Law actually based for people to grow. Like example, in a company, the employee maybe something make wrong. Teach them to create. But you keep on doing wrong, then you sack them, because you must teach them everything. You must don't and don'ts. But don't use the law to attack them. No good, no nice. So the same thing, we have to teach a subject on the integrity, honest, corruption. Everything must start from the year one, and we have to teach them. Okay, plagiarism, like you want to copy your assignment, tell them truth. If you plagiarize, you're out of the university. Because in UK, in Australia, I was told that in PhD, one word you plagiarize, you will just say goodbye and go. They don't got money, they don't give money, they gave for that. And then many students will left, because of that. So serious on our thing in the university itself, teach them, don't go on the corruption. You do well at the company, you can go up. So these are the things that I really advise to the student. Online, okay, fine, but make sure you get your lecturer to approve that online business. And then you can do that. And then I give you an example, washing car. It's simple, you can get 5 of you, student, you wash a lecturer's car. Lecturer, why send the car to outside? Your unit, UCTS, give the place to them to like all the equipment you give, and then let the student work. They earn an income, one car 10 ringgit. If they wash 10 car, 100 ringgit. They can use for their own makan. What is enough? Why UMK cannot do? No rule. What we cannot do? We give them some place. Students start the washing car. Give them nice one lah. Don't washing car like tepi jalan lah. Professional lah. They got a music room there. They wash the car and you give the key. I can give key to my student one. I looking for the car wash in Kelantan. Susah dapat tahu. Jadi bagilah pelajar buat. How much income? Wah, they can get about 1,000 or and they can start a business there. So all the lecturers are willing to give their car to wash the car. Vacuum. That is the look like. Business not bring income, but very good income, don't forget about that. Okay, so all these kind of thing outside the box lah. Itu sajalah saya punya komen.
Okay, thank you. Before that, perhaps I would ask for permission from all the panels to at least extend the time, because then now only we are receiving quite a number of questions. So if the panels are okay to extend some of a bit of the timing. So I go with the first question that we received, asked by Yungi Guang. What is the main skill must have for the fresh graduate to make sure they will be accepted in any company? Asking about the skills. Yes. Any of the panels?
Dato'.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for that. Very, very important is your communication skill. Yeah? And of course, when I say communication skill, it is really English. Yeah? In the sense that, many, of course, students and politicians especially, they say that when employers, private sector employers require the fresh graduates to be proficient in English, they say that that is pure discrimination. To me, it is really not discrimination because it is not based on race, it is not based on religion or based on ethnicity kind of thing. It is based on your ability to communicate in certain language. And of course, this is very much the language that we speak in the private sector business. Because when you communicate with your clients overseas, things like that, you always want them to communicate in English. And the other part is, of course, the IT skills that you must have. I think it's something that you cannot go without that kind of skill, especially now when you are expected to work from remote areas, remote places, things like that. Then, of course, you must have that kind of skill. Yeah, and of course, for some of the jobs, you require that professional qualification. Say, for example, if you want to become a lawyer, of course, you need to actually have that LLB with you. If you want to become an accountant, then you, of course, must have that specific skill that is required for that particular job. Yeah, so that I would say that the generic skill is actually language skill. And I think, put it this way, the prospective employee will start to make an impression by the way actually the candidate concerned speak and communicate with the interviewers. Or even before that, when we're talking about submitting your resume, thing like that, you need to be very careful. I had seen a situation where, this particular student is applying for a job in MEF, but I saw that the email was addressed to another email address. That's been like what Professor Bala said. Possibly this is just cut and paste kind of thing and not careful enough. So with that kind of situation, of course, there's no way that I'm going to call this candidate to be interviewed. Yeah. So that are the kind of things, that small things that I think we need to be careful when you try to look for a job after you graduate. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dato. We have another question. I believe this one has been answered by Dato just now about the experience, but maybe just to sum up on the issue, because there was a question, to what extent that experience is needed, and how to counter or how to answer when the company asking for experience, I think for the fresh graduates.
Of course, this is basically a chicken and egg situation. If the employer never give any chance for for fresh graduate to be employed in the first place, you wouldn't get any experience at all. But this is where your I would say coursework program can be very critical. If you can say that, okay, look, I actually had been involved in on-site work experience, for example. From the first year I joined the university, meaning that for every semester break, actually, I take up this kind of jobs, or I go for internship, this kind of thing. Then, of course, that will actually impress the company concerned and possibly would be able to offer a position in the company. So that's why I say, even if I say the internship can be doing menial job like what happened in Japan, thing like that, that is part of the learning program and learning process, and that should be taken, I think, seriously by the students themselves. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dato. I think this question might be for Dr. Rashida about the SKM. Is it the Malaysian Skill Certificate? So the question asks whether the SKM is still relevant and whether you can convince the company using the certificate itself. I mean, this is practical, is it?
Okay, thank you very much for the questions, and thank you very much also, Cik Zaini. Okay, basically, if you are talking about the Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia, yes, still relevant up until now, because some of the jobs that is available is actually they are requesting for the Sijil Kemahiran Malaysia or SKM, whether it's level 3, level 4 or level 5. So if you are asking me, for example, if you wanted to work in the skill-based job, okay, it's actually they need the SKM certificate before you can do the work, or even like some because I also do like research with a few of the what do you call that companies, and then for example, like when I do research with the ports, okay, and the ports was saying that they actually looking for, I mean, they really look for someone with the SKM level 3 and 4 before they can work in the ports. I mean, to work as a lot of works lah in the ports management. And usually, if this what do you call that? If this employees that doesn't have the certificate, then the ports have to invest money so that they can send the employees to go for the SKM. So basically, if you are asking me whether SKM is still relevant or not at this point of time, yes, it is relevant. And in UCTS itself, okay, we do have the course, which is the current course in which is a Bachelor of Technology Management. All right, so whereby we actually working closely with the Jabatan Pembangunan Kemahiran, so that we are having this hybrid course whereby we are merging the the mainstream degree, and then we add the elements of TVET inside the courses itself. So I call it as a hybrid course because in this program, okay, not only the student is having the business management knowledge, but they can also have the knowledge from the engineering side, from the computer science side, and also on the vocational side itself. So basically that is like the comprehensive courses for the students. All right, so I hope that answer the questions whether SKM is relevant. It is relevant in some of the industry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I can add for that. The same thing also what Dr. said just now. The same thing I said, SKM, all these courses, Kemahiran boleh apply to other courses, general courses lah. So that maksud saya ni, tadi Dr. cakap very specific kan. I'm talking about the whole university in Malaysia. And then they don't need to do the whole course. They just pick up 1 or 2 courses. They can pick up 1 or 2 courses, but very practical course. Because this body is come Jabatan Kemahiran, no. So the moment employers see this, they will recognize this student already gone through the skill base rather than more academic base lah. Unless like you got accountancy, like UMK, we got newly established program accountancy together with the ACCA. That one okay, because when they come in, and then we also got the logistic with all the big body. I was also sitting on the national body as a board of we brought from overseas one of the big body. So I'm also sitting on that body to award the student to give them certain additional. That one employer will respect. But what about the other general program that we don't have everything? And so that was I'm saying that Jabatan Kemahiran Malaysia boleh bawa untuk semua. Jadi ini can reduce lah, not say 100% reduce the employability, but at least a little bit lah. We can see the result. Okay, thanks, Dr. Thanks, Ani.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So we hope that the answer Muhammad Hizami bin Aini questions about the SKM certificate. Last, perhaps panel can allow for the last question from Siga Elvis asking, this one has been answered, mentioned by the panel just now, but maybe we can sum up on this. Should, for fresh graduate, should we gain experience first, even the salary is low, or learn new skills by taking courses after graduating? That was the question.
I think it's better for the fresh graduate to actually take practical thing, meaning that take up employment if there is any offer, rather than continuing to pursue the I would say academic courses. I think don't waste so much time on academic courses after your first graduation. Take up the job and learn from there. And perhaps, while you're actually, working, then you want to pursue other professional courses, go ahead and do it. Now, that should be the way that, the students be preparing themselves for the world of work. Yeah. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. I believe that is the end for the Q&A. Before we conclude, before we end, perhaps Ms. Nurul Azwa wanted to conclude on part of the UMKs about our today's discussion, the whole topic.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Aini. So as a conclusion, I do believe that as what have been mentioned by Dato', there's no need to worry about the starting pay, but the first thing first is you need to gain the jobs, because the most important thing and the most crucial things is for a fresh graduate is in terms of the experience that they gain after they are working. And then one of the most major things that most of the students, especially we as academicians, we do believe that our student, we do hope that our students have a very high standard in terms of upgrading their own skills. So the first thing that our students need to do is by upgrading their own skills and change their mindset. Okay, and then in terms of their own self, also the skills, also one of the major part and the most important thing, the most crucial things that all the employers will take into consideration while hiring them in the labor market. So maybe that's all from me in terms of the conclusion for today's topics. Thanks, Ms. Aini.
Thank you. Yes, I must agree with Cik Nurul Azwa. Definitely, when we heard the three panels' argument and point just now, we really believe that at the end of the day, it up to the graduate itself, because all the three panels are emphasizing on the competency of the graduates, the mindset of the graduate, the skill needed for the graduate in order to compete within this fierce labor market. And I also very interested when Prof. Bala mentioned just now about the law that we have currently. Our labor law is not very sufficient to address the working from home example, also related to COVID-19 issues. And this was also raised by the MEF yesterday in the webinar organized by the MEF itself. So yeah, so I hope today's webinar has answered our queries and our questions on whether this is actually an issue. So definitely we have come up with the conclusion that it is an issue, but we have a solution to that, in which the graduate must themselves equip themselves with competency, skills, language, as mentioned by Datuk just now, in order to compete within this fierce labor market. And we cannot change the situation definitely, but we can change ourselves to adapt with the situation. And that is the idea proposed by MBF regarding the VUCA. VUCA is a short form for the volatile, uncertainty, complexity, and also the ambiguity. So in the midst of COVID-19, we believe that fresh graduate must be able to have this kind of self-attitude, must be ready and flexible to adapt themselves in any kind of situation, in future situation that we do not know and very uncertain. Therefore, we would like to perhaps the last word, before we end, last word from all the panel, very short and sweet, from the three panels, maybe, before we end.
Yes, perhaps the most important thing is that for universities, for students, I think we need to be really agile and adapt to the current requirements at a quick speed, rather than trying to do something that is based on the theories, thing like that. So thank you very much.
Okay, from my side, we love Malaysia and we love our students. All right, that's most important. When they come in, we need to also preparing for them for the future good leader, that they are the future leader to be our country, to make our country progress. And my personal opinion, they are all the best graduate, as I know, and the parents expecting them to be a better person in the industry later on. At the same time, I think we need to challenge them for the year one. That's our role as a lecturer. Lecturer must open-minded. I think all depend on the lecturers. Don't think that our lecturers just teach and for their own self. I believe most lecturers now publish the publication ISI Scopus only put in on the dash. But the most important, how you give back to community. The community is actually the student, the parents, the industry, like MEF. So we give back to them. That's what we have to do. So publish, same time, you also take care of our graduates. put more time on them so that they can be a better person in the future. That's my viewpoint.
Okay, from my side, my advice to the students is that I believe, okay, you are the future, the future leaders, right? So just equip yourself and then change your mindset, and at the same time, challenge yourself and think outside the box, because don't worry about the salary, even though, yeah, salary plays an important role, especially if you are in the big town that you need to survive. But at the same time, okay, the most important thing also, you need to what you call that, you need to gain the experience so that you can demand for the salary later on, because that is the only way on how you are going to grow. And I'm hoping that with that also, I'm hoping that the law is going to change, whereby the the minimum salary for the fresh graduates will also change, because of with all the challenges that is in our country and also in our current economy. So basically that is from me. Thank you, Ms. Moderator.
Thank you. So that is definitely the end of our webinar today. But for the panel, before you leave, I would like to, for the Zoom meeting, to everyone to open their camera, because we wanted to have a snapshot for the, before we say goodbye to each other. So we appreciate that those in Zoom meeting can open their camera, turn on the camera, and then we can have. So we like to thanks again on behalf of the School of Business Management, School of Business in UCTS, and also I think on behalf of the UMK, we're really grateful and thankful for the time spent to all the panel, Dr. Rashida, Dr. Haji Samsudin, also Prof. Bala, all the way from Kelantan, also in Semenanjung. Thank you so much for the time spent. Hopefully we can have more of this academic discussion. We can invite perhaps Datuk more on the to discuss and to be in Sarawak, maybe be part of our university in future. So yes, so thank you. So thank you again. We thank you the audience that spent their time to attend for today's webinar. So we see you in the next webinar. So thank you, and we see you again. Thank you so much.